Well now, come on in out of the cold. Hang your coat there on the hook and pull that chair up close. Fire's been going since late afternoon and she's burning real steady tonight. I've been sitting here a good while already, just watching those flames, thinking. You know how a fire does that to a man? Gets him thinking about things he ain't thought about in a long while. Tonight I've been thinking about sleep. Now that might sound like a strange thing to sit and think about, but hear me out. I want to ask you something honest, and I want you to sit with it before you answer. When is the last time you woke up in the morning and felt like the night had actually done something for you? Not just gotten through, not just survived till morning, but genuinely rested, like your body had been somewhere good while you slept and came back ready. Let me tell you, folks, I reckon for most folks these days that question brings a long silence. And that silence tells you everything. Now, I ain't here to lecture anybody. Lord knows I leave that to folks who enjoy it more than I do. But I want to tell you about something I remember, something I watched with my own two eyes as a boy, and something I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Because I believe we lost something quiet, something that used to happen every single night in every farmhouse and log cabin across this country. We lost it so gradually we didn't even notice it was gone. My grandfather's name was Elias. Big man, hands like saddle leather. Didn't say much, but when he did, you listened. I spent summers with him and my grandmother out on their farm in Tennessee. I was maybe 7, 8 years old the first time, and I remember lying in that little back bedroom listening to the sounds of the house settling down for the night. The fire in the main room going quiet, the creak in my grandmother's rocking chair slowing, the horses out in the barn shifting their weight, that particular sound horses make at night, like they're sighing. And I remember thinking, everything out here knows when to stop, everything except me. And within about 10 minutes of thinking that, I was gone, asleep like I'd been dropped from a great height. Didn't wake till morning, full morning, sun already up and the smell of cornbread coming from the kitchen. I tell you folks, I have chased that feeling my whole life. Tonight, I want to tell you why that happened, why sleep on that farm, in that cabin, under those old quilts, was different from what most of us know today. And it starts with something real simple, something so obvious we walk right past it. It starts with the dark. Come sundown on my grandfather's farm, the world went dark. Not dim, not softened like it is in town with the street lamps and the lit up windows. Dark. The kind of dark that has weight to it. The kind where you hold your hand up in front of your face and you cannot see it. I remember the first night I experienced that kind of dark, really experienced it. I was used to the city, used to that orange glow that hangs over everything, even at midnight, even with your eyes closed. But out on that farm, when my grandfather banked the fire down and blew out the last lamp, Lord have mercy. It was like the world closed its eyes. And I ain't gonna lie to you, for about 2 minutes it scared me. The way things scare you when they're bigger than you expected. And then something happened. Something in my chest. Some knot I didn't even know was tied
just loosened. See, the body knows dark. It's known dark a whole lot longer than it's known lamplight, longer than it's known candles, a whole lot longer than it's known the kind of light we've got burning in every room of every house today. When true dark falls, real dark, honest dark, something in the body says, all right, the day is finished. Lay it down now. Folks in 1850 didn't have a word for it. They didn't need one. They just felt it every evening, regular as the sun going down over the ridge. And that feeling, that slow loosening, it started well before bedtime. Started right there by the fire in the last hour of the evening. The oil lamp burning low on the table, the fire settling into coals, everything going amber and orange and soft. And here's the thing about that kind of light: firelight, lamplight, candlelight. It's warm, orange, gold, red, the color of late evening since the beginning of time. The body looks at that light and it knows, same way it knows the smell of rain coming, same way it knows the feel of the first cold morning in October. It knows evening is here, and evening means rest is coming. But the light in most houses today, it ain't that color. It's sharp, white, bright. Looks a whole lot like midday sun to a body that's been reading light signals since before it could walk upright. And the body gets confused. It says, wait, is it still day? Should I still be ready? Should I still be watching? And it stays ready, even when you're exhausted, even when you're lying in bed, waiting for sleep that keeps not coming. My grandmother used to put the lamps out early, earlier than it felt necessary, if I'm honest. 7:30, sometimes 8 o'clock. The fire's still going, but the lamp's out. And the whole house would change. The children got quieter, the talking slowed. Even the dog would let out a long breath and put his head down. It wasn't that anybody decided to be calm. The dark decided it for him. I reckon that's what we gave up when we got the power to keep the lights on all night. We gave up the thing that was deciding for us, the thing that was gentle enough to do it without us even noticing. We got rid of the darkness and then spent the next 100 years wondering why we couldn't sleep. Long pause.
Now here's something I didn't learn until I was a grown man. Something that surprised me considerably when I first heard it. People in my grandfather's time didn't sleep the way we sleep today. We think of sleep as one long stretch, head down at 10, up at 6, 8 hours straight through if you're lucky. That's the picture we've all got in our heads. But that ain't how it naturally goes, not for a body left to its own devices. For most of human history, folks slept in 2 parts. They called it first sleep and second sleep, and it was as natural and unremarkable as breakfast and supper. Here's how it went. Come dark, 8 o'clock, maybe half past, folks would go to bed, and they'd sleep hard, heavy, deep as a stone in still water, 3-4 hours. And then, somewhere around midnight, they'd wake. Not startled, not sick, just done with the first part, easy as an afternoon nap. And in those quiet middle hours, midnight, 1 in the morning, they'd lie still or get up soft so as not to wake the others, tend the fire if it needed tending, step out onto the porch and look at the stars, pray, think. My grandmother used to sit in her rocking chair, wrapped in a quilt, just rocking in the dark for an hour, sometimes more. I asked her once what she thought about during those hours. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Nothing in particular, Silas, and everything." I didn't fully understand that then. I do now. After that quiet hour, they'd go back to sleep, the second sleep, lighter than the first, full of dreams often. And they'd wake with the first gray showing in the east. Rested in a way that's hard to describe if you ain't felt it, because both parts were finished, nothing cut short, nothing interrupted. The body got what it came for, all of it. There are folks today, scientists and such, who have studied this, put people in cabins with no electric light for weeks at a time, and within just a few days, the two-sleep pattern comes back on its own, without anybody suggesting it, because the body never forgot. It's been carrying that knowledge the whole time, patient as anything, just waiting for the dark to come back so it could do what it always knew how to do. My grandfather slept like that his whole life. I watched it. He'd be in bed by 8:30, up around midnight to check the animals, back to sleep by 1, up again before dawn, rested and ready. I thought it was just his way, an old man's odd habits. Turns out it was the oldest habit there is.
Let me tell you about that back bedroom on my grandfather's farm. Because it wasn't like any bedroom most folks sleep in today. Small room, log walls, one window with heavy curtains that my grandmother had sewn herself from flour sacking. A plank floor with a braided rug over the center of it. And it was cold at night. I want to be plain about that. Not freezing, but cold. Especially come October, November. You could see your breath some mornings. The fire in the main room would burn down through the night, and that back bedroom had no fire of its own, just whatever warmth drifted through the door. And on that bed, quilts, heavy ones, 3-4 of them in the deep of winter. Quilts my grandmother and her mother had pieced together over years. Every scrap of fabric with a history. A dress worn thin, a shirt past mending, a curtain from
from a house they'd lived in before. You'd crawl under those quilts and lord the weight of them. Not uncomfortable, the opposite. Like the bed itself was holding you. Like the whole weight of the quilt was saying, "You're here. You're safe. You can let go now." There's something about a cold room and a heavy quilt that I ain't never been able to fully explain. But every old-timer I ever talked to knew exactly what I meant when I mentioned it. Something about the body getting cold on the outside and warm on the inside, and the combination of those two things takes you down into sleep like nothing else on this earth. Doctors today will tell you, and they're right, that the body needs to drop its temperature a little to sleep deep. That's why a warm room fights you. That's why you kick the covers off and then pull them back and can't ever get right. But in that cold little bedroom under those heavy quilts, the body got exactly what it needed without anybody planning it, without anybody knowing the science of it. They just knew this is how you sleep. Because their mothers slept this way, and their mothers' going back further than memory. And the room was dark. I already told you about the dark, but in that bedroom it was something else entirely. No light at all, not a crack, not a glow. My grandmother's curtains saw to that. And the sounds, Lord, the sounds of that farm at night. The fire ticking as it cooled, the wind coming through the ridge and moving through the trees, an owl somewhere out past the barn, and rain. When rain came, that tin roof turned it into something close to music. I've fallen asleep to 100 different things in my life, but nothing, not one thing has ever worked on me the way that rain on that tin roof did. I was gone before the second verse.
But here's the part that I think matters most, the part that don't get talked about enough. The reason folks in 1850 slept the way they did wasn't only the dark room, or the cold, or the heavy quilts. It was the day they'd lived before they got there. My grandfather was up before first light every morning, not with an alarm, because the animals needed tending and the day wasn't gonna wait. By the time most folks today are sitting down with their morning coffee, he'd already fed the horses, split enough wood to last the day, walked half a mile to check on the lower fence line, and eaten a breakfast that Eleanor had been cooking since before sunrise. Real work, physical work, the kind that uses the body the way the body was built to be used. And by the time evening came, he was tired in a way that went all the way down. Not the frazzled, wound up, can't turn my brain off tired that most of us know, but the good tired, the honest tired, the tired that comes from having done something real with your body and your hands. That kind of tired doesn't argue with sleep. It just goes.
Long pause. Eleanor was no different. Up before the man, fire started, water hauled from the well, bread made, milk strained, butter churned, garden tended. Women in 1850 didn't sit much. I reckon most of them walked 5-6 miles a day just moving through their own work, never leaving the property. And the children, they ran all day outside in the actual air, chasing each other through the fields, wading the creek, coming in at supper time muddy and breathless and glowing. Tommy, Lord, that boy could run. He'd come in at the end of a summer day looking like he'd fought a war and won it. Face red, feet wet, couldn't tell you what he'd been doing all day, just living. And he'd be asleep before Eleanor finished tucking him in every single night. Long pause. The other thing the 1850s had that most of us have lost was endings, real ones. When my grandfather finished a day's work, it was finished. He could see it. The wood was split and stacked. The fence was mended. There wasn't a list somewhere growing longer while he slept. There wasn't a message waiting that he hadn't answered. There wasn't a task half done that would be right there first thing in the morning judging him. The day had an ending, a real honest, you can put it down ending. And there is something the body does when the day is truly finished, something it cannot do any other time. It lets go. Sleep ain't something you do, it's something you allow, and you can only allow it when you've truly set the day down. Eleanor used to say the same thing to the children every night. She'd tuck 'em in and smooth that quilt down and say, "Leave the day outside the door." And because their days were real, they could. Long pause.
Fire's burned down low now. That good orange glow that don't flicker much, just breathes, steady and warm, quiet. And I find myself thinking about my grandfather, Elias. Those big leather hands folded on his chest, that slow, deep breathing. I used to watch him sleep sometimes when I was a boy, sitting up past my bedtime thinking I was getting away with something. And the thing I remember most is how still he was. Not fighting anything, not chasing anything, not running from anything. Just there in that old farmhouse, under those quilts his wife made, in the dark, in the quiet, completely at rest. I don't think that was an accident. I don't think he was just lucky. I think he had something that most of us have been slowly, quietly talked out of having. A day that ended, a room that went dark, a body that was honestly tired, and a trust, a deep,
unquestioned trust that the night would do what nights had always done. Take care of him while he rested, the way it had taken care of every soul who ever closed their eyes in the dark since the beginning of time. Now, I ain't telling you to give up your lights or sleep in a cold barn, though I'll tell you what, you might be surprised. But I am saying this. What if the last hour of the evening got a little quieter? What if the lights went a little lower come sundown? What if you let the day actually finish before you laid your head down? What if you gave your body just a shadow, just the smallest shadow of what it was built to have? I reckon it remembers. I reckon it's been remembering the whole time, patient as anything, waiting for the dark to come back. My grandfather used to fall asleep in his chair some evenings, right there by the fire, mid-sentence sometimes, head dropping slow to one side. And my grandmother would look over at him and smile, not irritated, not amused exactly, just satisfied. The way you look at something that is exactly what it ought to be. A man with nothing chasing him into the night. A man at peace with his day and at peace with the dark that follows it. That's what I want for you. I mean that sincerely. Not a perfect life, not some long ago world you can't get back to. Just a little more dark, a little more quiet, a little more room for the body to do what it already knows how to do. The fire's nearly out now, and I find I'm ready. I hope you are too. Good night, friends. Sleep well, the way they used to. I'll see you next time.